Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all glories to the members of the Prabhupada Disciples Association and the Hare Krishna Society, which was started in 2002. So it has longevity. There has been a desire for its development since then, and now we're progressing forward step by step to rebuild the mission of Srila Prabhupada and his legacy through our efforts, because it is possible to achieve this goal, because this is Krishna's desire. Krishna has a desire to see the movement protected and preserved as an instrument of liberation for the conditioned souls. And Srila Prabhupada created this mission through the production of amazing books, his original unedited books, which are an encyclopedia of information. It's not a small thing how much he did. Because as we've learned in our readings of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Prabhupada, it was predicted he would appear as the manifestation of Srila Vyasadeva. And Srila Vyasadeva was not satisfied when he produced so many books. He wanted more. And Prabhupada, like Srila Vyasadeva, wanted to do as much as he could while he was personally present with us in this world. In a very short time of 11 years, he did phenomenal service, empowered service by the grace of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. And he said, the only miracle that I have done, if there are so many miracles, but the only miracle I've done is I've presented the philosophy of Krishna consciousness without any changes, no changes. So he was faithful to his guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And this is the key to the understanding of our philosophy, that all of our students, all of our members should be aware of this Guru Tattva business of understanding. Do not change, do not repeat anything that has been given from the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And that's the work that we're carrying on with. And in order to do that, we have opened up branch offices. Yes, branch offices. One in Italy with Vijaya Pandit. One in France with Bhakta Jad. Montreal with Prakrita Prabhu, our most valuable asset, our god brother. And throughout America, in all different locations, in Tennessee and Kansas City. And I wanted to thank Radharani Devi Dasi for getting in touch with me the other day. Thank you. And for being a part of this, she's volunteered to help us distribute the books that we're planning to print, publish, and not publish, but print, and distribute throughout the world. We have our Prabhu, Naveen Krishna Prabhu, who has some books that he has printed on various issues related to the poisoning of our Guru, Srila Prabhupada. And we're going to include those in our distribution networks. We have over, I was looking at the list, I sent it to Yashodanandana Prabhu for his review and confirmation. And looks like we have 18 branch offices. Now, these branch offices will be supplying some books for availability when we get the Srimad Bhagavatam Delhi versions printed. They'll be made available through these branch offices in local areas. So this will be one of their services. And the other service will be a contact list. So in our website, Hare Krishna Society website, which is a wonderful encyclopedia of information on various philosophical positions and points of view, you can go there and get a reference on anything you want to learn about in terms of our philosophy, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Hare Krishna Society, and in that website, there'll be the detailed list of these branches, along with the people that are running them, these branch offices, and their contact information. And you'll be able to reach them if you want to engage in any kind of local preaching work with them, because they'll be more than happy, everyone, to help you in your devotional service, which is the main function of our group, is to promote the spiritual advancement of the individuals in this society. Hare Krishna Society and Prabhupada Disciples Association. And so, like that, we'll begin to be able to proliferate the revival of Prabhupada's mission. Eh, Vijaya Pandit? It's our hope that we can help you to get a press there in Italy and start publication of books in Italian for those people there, and in France, and in Spain, or in Mexico, for example, where we have people that are very ambitious to propagate the truth of the matter in their own particular languages besides English, which is one medium for us. So like that. And I wanted to, our production manager, if you could, if it's possible, otherwise I can just show it. Here we have our wonderful invitation cards, which I've been using here locally, and I know Bhakti Jad and other devotees throughout the world are doing it. I mean, it could be translated into Italian, for example, Prabhu, although the class is in English, in a sense, unfortunately. But these classes, this card here, this promo card is available if you send a request to our website. Then our website manager will be able to send you the artwork for this. And it's an invitation card, and it's a reason to approach somebody when you're out at the grocery store or at a particular business where you know the people, and you could drop off a small set of them, like you give them 6 or 7 of the cards. You say, hey, pass this on to your friends, anyone that's interested in self-improvement and mental health and peace of mind. You can get it through self-realization found in Bhakti Yoga. And then on the back, You can see it's got the scan me on both sides, very well done. And then the different addresses that links that you can people can go to and become connected to the transcendental truths that we are presenting in our mission to protect Prabhupada's legacy. These cards are very important. And if you want the artwork for that, we will send it to you. We have the print-ready artwork and be able to give you the details on how to do it from our website, HareKrishnaSociety.com. And in this way, you have more tools. I'm also thinking Aprakrita sent me this. This is a very good bookmark, you can see. Now, he originally sent it for me. This was a few years ago before we really started to focus as a group. So I put up my own website at the time I had it. But I'm going to get a new set made, which will be featuring the promotion of our classes, which is really the foundation of our work, is to reach out to people globally through this medium of Zoom and have a chance to discuss the philosophy in an open forum like this, and also present the original books for everyone's spiritual enlightenment. This is food for the soul, and everyone has to eat every day. But the most important sense that we have to feed is the hearing process. And this hearing is the fundamental principle of spiritual life that Prabhupada taught us. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Archanam, Dasya, Sakya, Atma, Nivedanam. There are 9 processes of devotional service, and they begin with Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting together. Of course, we hope in the future to have global festivals of our association and a chance for us to come together and chant Hare Krishna together and have feasts and association in that way moving forward. So branch offices are very important for our work. And if any of you want to become a branch office and be a part of this spreading of the Krishna consciousness movement under the banner of the Hare Krishna Society, Prabhupada Disciples Association, Mukush Sharma, if you want to become a member of this network, please get in touch with us. We'll be happy to discuss it with you. And be part of our network. This networking is a very valuable tool in the spreading of Krishna consciousness, the network of the holy name. And Namhata. We want to promote our membership as a strong force spiritually in this deteriorating Kali Yuga that we're in, which has gone insane. And at any moment, there could be nuclear war. At any moment, any kind of situation could collapse in front of us, including your own health. Most people think, I'll just live on. There's no guarantee you won't get killed in a car accident. There's no guarantee that you won't be injured in some other manner by a fall or other circumstance. There's no guarantee you won't get an announcement you've got cancer, that all of a sudden you've got a lump and you're going to die. And you're thinking, well, why did I waste my time in so many frivolous activities when I had a chance to engage my money, to engage my time and effort, my intelligence in the mission of preserving Prabhupada's legacy in the Hare Krishna Society, Prabhupada Disciples Association, with over 20,000 members in our group page now. I forgot to mention that to my godbrother Yashodanandana Prabhu, that we had surpassed 20,000. And now guess what? We're moving to 30,000. And this will carry on and on and on as we continue to focus as a group on building this mission. As a group, working cooperatively together. This is the largest group of Prabhupada disciples working cooperatively together at this point in time in the world. Yes. And we're very proud of everyone, and thank you, everyone, for participating in this humble effort to revive the mission of Lord Chaitanya according to the instructions of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of this mission, and we are his bona fide disciples. So we're going to move forward. We've got some very interesting items to read today. Some inspiration from the diaries of Srila Prabhupada. And here's an excerpt from a room conversation with Ram Jethmalani, Member of Parliament, on April 16th, 1977 in Bombay. Member of Parliament. Back one, thank you. Prabhupada, I was cooking in my hands. For one man sitting, I was cooking not less than for 10 to 15 men. Tamal Krishna, what was the idea? Prabhupada, the idea is everyone wanted some food prepared by me. They wanted my preparation. All right, do it. Tamal Krishna, all the devotees in the early days? Prabhupada, no, not devotees. When I was doing here and there, like Dr. Mishra's place, so he was distributing prasadam, everyone. This is what we recommend for everyone who has a branch office. You cook and distribute food to other people, always ongoing. Invite people to your house, give them prasadam, no matter who they are. Tamal Krishna, he was very fond of your cooking. Prabhupada, he got a good cook without paying. And I had no other alternative. I liked it. That's right, he had no kitchen. Tamal Krishna, was he paying for the foodstuffs? Prabhupada, oh yes. He was giving his place and foodstuff. I was preparing and eating and giving them. I will not pay him. No, everything he was paying. So Prabhupada was engaging him a little bit in his service, and he's eternally benefited by that service that he rendered to Prabhupada. We'll move forward here with the minutes. Now, this is the minutes of the first meeting of the trustees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And I wanted to mention before we read this that our godbrother Yashodanandana Prabhu is very expert at paperwork. He's a professional person in that area. And I personally want to thank him for that service because it's critical to the work of expanding the Hare Krishna Society is to have people like him expert in being able to run an organization according to the letter of the law. Because corporate law is very sophisticated, especially in America. And we have a person here in our group that is expert in that field and has been maintaining the Hare Krishna Society legal status for 22 years, everyone. And now we are expanding. We are expanding with everyone's participation. This is the first meeting of the trustees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, held at 26th 2nd Avenue on August 8th, 1966 at 9:30 p.m. And present was Carl Jurgens, Michael Balasamo, Bob Lefkowitz, James Green, that was Joshua Yogeshwar is his name, I believe, Raymond Maris trustees, and A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami and Stanley Shear, members in good standing. Item 1, some powers of the trustees. A, number of trustees set at 9. B, the trustees may call a meeting of the society's general membership, and if they so choose, by majority vote. Item 2, reading of the Constitution. The Constitution for the Society, drawn up and read by Carl Jurgens, is accepted unanimously by all present. The Constitution is thereby adopted. Item 3, more powers of the trustees. A meeting of 3 trustees is declared to constitute a quorum with full authority. 3 trustees. Interesting. Very nice. Item 4, meeting adjourned. Next meeting meeting attentively scheduled for 2 weeks from this date in order to have the benefit of the attendance of all the trustees to work on rules and regulations. Expert, very expert. And I got a lot of insight from this small section here for our own particular work. And finally, we'll read a membership form for the new society printed in late 1966 on the mimeograph machine. So this is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness with a nice letterhead. We're also developing a letterhead. It will list all our branch offices, everyone. So please get in touch with us if you want to become a branch office of the Hare Krishna Society. Actively practices these principles. Prabhupada's Acharya here. 1, spreading and propagating individual and universal love throughout the world through the practice of bhakti yoga. The basis of this principle, Krishna consciousness. 2, developing bliss in the individual through the rituals and practices of Hinduism under the guidance of a spiritual master guru, and that is Srila Prabhupada. 3, installing the science of God's spiritual knowledge through the carefully directed study of ancient scriptures. 4, singing and playing Indian music, instruments provided, dancing and serving prasadam, spiritual food, and hearing the word of Krishna through our Acharya and spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. 5, constructing the first Hindu temple in America. All these principles are fully embraced by our members. One may become a tentative member merely by pledging to attend a meeting at our temple on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday evenings at 7 p.m. And we also have that same rule. If you're interested in becoming a member or becoming initiated, one of our rules is you have to attend classes for 6 months to a year on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, as best as you can. Mailing in the detached form below will both constitute your pledge to attend and install you as a tentative member by putting you on our mailing list. And we are building a mailing list as well, a database. So please, be in touch with our website host, and send in your information so you can be on our database, so you can receive our newsletters and our invitation to classes and our other programs that we're launching in our mission. Our address is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, 26 2nd Avenue, New York. I hereby pledge to attend a meeting on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday evening at 7 p.m., thus becoming a tentative member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and having my name added to the mailing list. And so you see the information there. Very, very interesting guide for us, Yashodanandana Prabhu, and how we can use this vision that Srila Prabhupada was implementing with his group, with our group in the same way. And in this way, will revive the mission of Lord Chaitanya in our group moving forward into the future. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you. Not that. We're going to move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, the bhajan led by Srila Prabhupada, and after that, we'll have the reading and discussion with Yashodanandana Prabhu from the Bhagavad Gita as it is today, the 1972 unedited version. Hare Krishna. Is there
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Amuspat Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Sattvaresvara Smadhati Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Bhagavad Ki Jai Ananta Kodi Vaishnavindra Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Mokh Gopinath Sam Khand Radha Khand Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Guru Dwarka Dham Ki Jai Swami Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai All glories to Their Supreme All glories to Their Supreme Thank you very much.
All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Glories to you, Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya Naram cheva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Naranarayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. As we do every week, we will be reciting a few Sanskrit verses which were first presented by Srila Prabhupada in February of 1966 in New York. This is the beginning of the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. Very important. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet?
Yes.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunathan Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaguna Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Scha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Dasa and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostuti. Oh, my dear Krishna, you're the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This program is being conducted on the basis of the 1972 Macmillan edition of Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. All synonyms, translations, and purports are from His Divine Grace. And it's important to note that this particular book is the non-adulterated, non-interpolated, non-edited version of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, as opposed to the subsequent unauthorized version that was published in 1983. We invite everyone to read the original text of Srila Prabhupada's books. Text number 19, chapter 11. Anadimadyantamananta viryam ananta bahum shashisurjanetram pasyamitvam diptahutasha bhaktram svatejasa vishwamidam tapantam anadi without beginning, madhya without middle, antam without end, ananta unlimited, viryam glorious, ananta unlimited, bahum arms, shashi moon, surya sun, netram eyes, pashyami I see, tvam you, dipta blazing, utasha bhaktram fire coming out of your mouth, svatejasa by your, vishwam this universe, idam this, tapantam healing. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. You are the origin without beginning, middle, or end. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are among your great unlimited eyes. By your own radiance, you are heating this entire universe. Purport by His Divine Grace. There's no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here and in many other places, there is repetition. But according to the scripture, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder, or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw. Text number 20. Dhyava prithivyoridhamantaram hi vyaptam tvayakena dishascha saravaha drishtvad bhutam rupamugram tabedam Lokatrayam pravyatitam mahatman Dyau in outer space, apritivyahu of the earth, idam this, antaram in between, he certainly, vyaptam pervaded, tvaya by you, ekena by one, dishaha directions, cha and sarava all, drishtva by seeing, adbhutam wonderful, rupam form, ugram terrible, tava your, idam this, loka planetary system, trayam three, pravyatitam perturbed, mahatman O great one. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and the space between. O great one, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all the planetary systems are perplexed. Purport. Dhyava pratibhyohu, the space between heaven and earth, and lokatrayam, three worlds, are significant words in this verse, because it appears that not only Arjuna saw this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems also saw it. The vision was not a dream. All who were spiritually awake with the divine vision saw it. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatharine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandanam Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshatah Adadhana Srinam Dantaridam Yachi Punah Punaham Srimadrupa Padam Bhoja Dhulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavato Smyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarabhatam Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Chat Karomisvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Quite significant that Srila Prabhupada raises some very important points in these two verses. We see, for example, in text number 19, Prabhupada explains in the purport, there is no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Prabhupada points out here and in many other places there is repetition. But according to the scriptures, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw. We know from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishna Das Kaviraj quotes the famous verse from the Brihad Naradiya Purana, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam, where the same message is being explained 3 times. And Prabhupada has explained that when we are trying to convey something very important, it is repeated 3 times. So we see that Arjuna is glorifying Krishna in so many ways in this chapter. There are so many wonderful prayers, wonderful eulogies, but there's no fault. There's no literary fault or devotional fault in this repetition. It is basically a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy. Prabhupada explained that statements are repeated over and over. Now it is quite significant in the next verse. It is described, Dhyava pritibhyoho and lokatrayam. And Prabhupada explains, but others in other planetary systems also saw it. Modern civilization and modern academic teaching have no knowledge of the situation in higher planets. They speculate. They're trying to find out if there are UFOs. But according to the Vedas, we have IFOs. UFOs refer to unidentified flying objects. We have identified flying objects because we know, according to the Bhagavad Gita, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Shastras, that there are living beings in other planets, higher planets. Now, people who have taken to the modern system of education say, well, we can't see, we can't verify. Well, you may not be able to verify, but it's described in the teachings of the great acharyas, the great professors of Vedic science. That's why it is accepted on the basis of these great authorities. We know from practical experience in this planet that nothing happens by chance. Even the critics of this Vedic science would admit that they did not get their education by chance. They had to go to school. They had to take classes. They had to pass tests. They had to get their various degrees. The house which they live in did not appear by chance. The conveyances or vehicles they use to move from one place to the other, that does not happen by chance. Nothing happens by chance. It is a foolish, nonsensical idea to postulate that the whole creation happened by chance. There's a cause behind everything. This is nicely explained in a Vedic literature called the Brahma Samhita. Sarva Karana Karanam. What is the cause of all causes? That is described as Krishna, Lord Krishna. Similarly, on this planet, in this universe, because there are many universes, but in this universe, there are living beings who are controlling the various universal arrangements. Light, the sun, the moon, the wind. There are different demigods, powerful living beings in charge of handling the management of this material world. Now, people may say, well, we can't see it. Well, you may make arrangements to see if you want. Srila Prabhupada wrote a book called Easy Journey to Other Planets, which was written published in 1959 in India, which described the process, the authorized Vedic process of being able to go to other planets. These Sputniks and so-called mechanical conveyances, you cannot go there with that. That is not possible. That is speculation, make-believe. In order to go to higher planets, one had to acquire a suitable body to be able to go to these planets. And how does one acquire a suitable body? By transforming the consciousness. By changing the consciousness from the mode of passion and ignorance to the mode of goodness. And one can ultimately get free from all of the miseries in this world. How do we do that? Because everybody is suffering. People who think, oh, there's so much enjoyment. Yes, but how long will you enjoy it? 40 years, 50 years, 80 years, 100 years? In Kali Yuga, the duration of life is very short. In previous ages, previous yugas, the duration of life was much longer. In the previous yuga, the average duration of people was 5,000 years. But now in this age, 100 years is considered lengthy duration of life. In Satyuga, the average duration of life was 100,000 years, the golden age. So one has to learn all of these points from an authorized professor, just like when one goes to the university. You don't get your class from a taxi driver or a rickshaw driver. You go to an authorized professor, an authorized teacher of that particular subject, whether it is medicine, law, accounting, engineering, so many different disciplines. Authorized professors are there, very learned persons. You don't spend 4 years in the admission office. You go to the class to hear, to learn. Similarly, one has to develop a taste for hearing. This is what this message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It is very important to understand the position, because sometimes persons are a little bewildered with regards to the position of Srila Prabhupada's writing. They're bewildered in the sense that they do not quite understand the position of these books that he has written. There's a class of modern devotee who are very eager to edit and change the words that were written by Srila Prabhupada, claiming that they will achieve a higher level of grammatical correctness. But that is very, very risky. Why? We will explain here. This is from a conversation with Srila Prabhupada, had in Perth, Australia, a morning walk on May 9th, 1975. Perth, Australia, on May 9th, 1975. Here's a devotee named Amoga. Srila Prabhupada, when people in the street hear Krishna's name, the chanting, or they get some literature, does that mean they will not take birth as an animal? Prabhupada, no. They'll get birth in a good family. Suchinam Srimatam Gehe, from Bhagavad Gita 641. If they simply appreciate it is very nice, then in the next life, human life is guaranteed in a very nice family. Simply if he appreciates, yes, it is very nice, that's all. Then he'll get another chance. Amoga. Many people think the pictures are very nice. Prabhupada, anything they say nice, that means it is guaranteed next life. Or even in this life, it will definitely help. As soon as he reads some pages, then it is guaranteed. Those who are inquiring, that means they are liking. Their life is guaranteed. Amoga. One man who joined us about Rath Yatra time last year was a solicitor, a lawyer. He used to buy our books, but he never read them. But he would keep them on his bookshelf, and he used to always think, those are such beautiful books. He used to think like that. Prabhupada, this is appreciation. Amoga. He never got time to read it. Prabhupada, it doesn't matter. If he keeps the books with appreciation, that makes his life sure, insured. He immediately becomes in touch with God, who keeps the book with reverence and love. Immediately he becomes in touch with God, because these books are representative of God. Let me repeat that. Because these books are representative of God. Amoga. We go to a school, I first ask, how many students have seen us chanting in the streets? Immediately, they'll all raise their hands. Prabhupada, it is a very nice service you're doing. Krishna will be satisfied. Haritoshana. As soon as Krishna is satisfied, your preaching is perfect. So the point is, Srila Prabhupada's original transcendental literatures are very potent. It connects people directly with Krishna. Well, somebody may ask, well, why is that? Then we go to a next conversation. In Bhubaneswar, India, morning walk conversation on January 2nd, January 28th, 1977. Bhubaneswar, India morning walk conversation on January 28th, 1977. Pitraputra. To show me, they were telling me that you're going to see the representative of God. And when I came to that vision, I saw the person. At that time, I did not know who it was, but I had some doubts in my mind. And I was thinking, oh, that's probably another kind of propaganda. This was all in a dream. But when I came to that person sitting on the elevated seat in that forest, surrounded by many, many devotees, that person looked at me and proved to me that he was the representative of God. But after, I forgot, maybe 1 year or something like this, 1 or 2 years after, Prabhupada, so there is no doubt about it that I am the representative of God. Pitraputra. Yes, but when I was, Prabhupada, either you dream or not dream, I claim. Pitraputra, yes, but this thing was just confirming. When I saw you the first time in Amsterdam, you were the same person that I saw in my dream 1 or 2 years previously. Prabhupada, that you have read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Tattva, Guru Tattva. So there it is clearly said that Guru is the manifestation of God. So it is confirmed in the Shastras, and all the Acharyas accept it. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadaha. Satsvarup. But is it possible to also learn spiritual truths from this, from representatives on the subtle plane? There's no question of subtle plane. You are in a gross plane. You first of all study gross things, and subtle we shall see later. Pitraputra, of course, that was never a doubt. That's just the way I came to Krishna consciousness. And when I saw you, Prabhupada, so the Guru is the representative of God. That's all right. Then what is your misunderstanding? So the point here is that Srila Prabhupada gives many explanations in his conversations, in his lectures, in his books. There is plenty of knowledge, plenty of understanding. All devotees have to do is learn to listen. Many years ago, I had a lawyer tell me a story how one very famous player and coach named Billy Martin or something, who had played for the New York Yankees. And at one point he played and he became a coach. And he was a very controversial coach for many of his statements. And what happened eventually, he was let go and he went to a team called Oakland Riders or Raiders, something like that. So with that team, which was not quite as much packed with so many big stars, he took him to some championship level. So somebody asked him, why is it that with this team, you were able to take them to the championship level, but with the other team with so many big-time players, you were not able to do it? And he took his ear and he pointed out, because in this place here, they're willing to hear. That is the difference. They learn to hear. That is, so this is what we have to learn, how to hear from the pure devotee. This is our task. Everybody, not just people on this call, anybody. Any human being that has 2 ears should be developed the taste for hearing. That's why these books of Srila Prabhupada, when I speak of books of Srila Prabhupada, I'm speaking of the non-adulterated, non-interpolated, non-changed books, the original books. These books are very potent to revive the original consciousness of any person. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. With excellent explanation of these verses today to give us insight into spiritual life. And further, in text 21 in the purport, it mentions, Joe Felice, that Krishna saw the universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems also saw it. And Prabhupada mentions the vision was not a dream. All who were spiritually awake with the divine vision saw it. So the question is, divine vision, how is it possible? And Prabhupada explained that spiritual vision is possible by following the guidelines given by His divine grace. It's a formula. And this formula enlightens the conditioned soul and develops a transcendental vision. Vijaya Pandit, what is that vision? How do you develop it? Prabhupada explains that we develop that vision by seeing through the ears, not through the eyes. So generally people think, oh, if I see it with my eyes, I accept it's real. But actually, the knowledge of spiritual life comes through the sense of hearing. So these are the eyes of the devotee, is to hear. And that's why it was very interesting to note how Yashodanandana was presenting today's philosophy for our benefit by basing it on hearing from the spiritual master. And of course, that's possible through his lectures and through his letters. Through his lectures, we have actually books and books of lectures that you can study. And we'll be bringing those up in the future. But we further understand that hearing is the way that we see as devotees. This is how you learn. And I wanted to go to the Bhagavad Gita introduction just briefly, page 5. And Prabhupada's written a phenomenal introduction to the Gita, which summarizes the philosophy of Krishna consciousness in brief, especially in the introduction. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yes, say that. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, not seeing, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Every living being is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the Supreme Brahman. Param Dhamma means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitra means that he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. Divyam, transcendental. Adidevam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ajam, the unborn, and Vibhum, the greatest, the all-pervading. Now, one may think that because Krishna was the friend of Arjuna, Arjuna was telling him all this by way of flattery. But Arjuna, just to drive out this kind of doubt from the minds of the readers of Bhagavad Gita, substantiates these praises in the next verse when he says that Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not only by himself, but by authorities like the sages, Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasadeva, and so on. These are great personalities who distribute the Vedic knowledge as it is accepted by all acharyas. Therefore, Arjuna tells our Krishna that he accepts whatever he says to be completely perfect. Sarvam itad ritam manye. I accept everything you say to be true. Arjuna also says that the personality of the Lord is very difficult to understand, and that he can be known even by the great demigods. This means that the Lord cannot even be known by personalities, cannot even be known by greater personalities than human beings. So how can a human being understand Sri Krishna without becoming his devotee? Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, here's a critical part of it, should be taken up in a spirit of devotion. One should not think that he is equal to Krishna, nor should he think that Krishna is an ordinary person or even a very great personality. Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, at least theoretically, according to the statements of Bhagavad Gita or the statements of Arjuna, the person who's trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So these are statements. We should therefore at least theoretically accept Sri Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Unless one reads the Bhagavad Gita in a submissive spirit, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita because it is a great mystery. So there's the secrets of Krishna consciousness that are there in the human society, but that understanding of who Krishna is and who we are is locked away from the conditioned soul because of their lack of interest in hearing. And through hearing, they can see Krishna, they can see spiritual life by the mercy of the bona fide spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is the secret, Prabhus. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. No adulteration, no change. Yashodanandana, Prabhu, please.
This is very, very important. You know, we keep repeating and discussing the same themes from so many different angles because we see that Srila Prabhupada does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who is reasonably familiar or even a little familiar with Prabhupada's teachings knows that he often spoke on the basis of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 13. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yarvabanam jara, explaining how a human being is not this body. And he's done this practically from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Prabhupada so many times tell us, and this we've experienced, especially in India, where Srila Prabhupada would be in his room and he would tell even a room full of devotees, he would say, just try to understand. Just try to understand. Because Prabhupada could see, although the same point was being presented from so many different angles of vision, many persons were not understanding. That's why the importance of submissively hearing, not just hearing, submissively hearing. We read in one of our previous discussion, the conversation with Lord Chaitanya and his servant in Kaliya Daha, where Prabhupada in the purports explains that even though one remained constantly with the spiritual master, that if one does not learn things as they are, hear things exactly as they are, one will not understand things properly. Even though he may remain constantly with the spiritual, mere physical association with the spiritual master is not guaranteed of success. One is to develop a submissive mentality, submissive oral reception. This is very important. Hare Krishna.
Yes, and we do appreciate everyone who is participating on a weekly basis with us in these the readings and discussions. And we'd like to call upon Dharma Bhavana in Dallas, Texas. Maybe he could share some of the insights that he's having today in today's discussion.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I was going to read from Bhagavad Gita 641, and just after I thought of this, it was mentioned during the class. And then I reflected back to what happened a few years ago. We're in Fiji Island, and there pretty much no one reads books, very, very few people. So the idea for devotees is through kirtan and prasadam. But the island has been mostly destroyed by math and Mayavadi and ethnic cleansing. So Fiji become a very kind of complicated, unfortunate place. But still, a few years ago, we were at Sewanee Beach and invited this one lady who was a leader of one of the village spiritual groups, and her husband, Willie, who was from Holland, to our apartment for prasadam. And we discussed a lot of things. Willie was a very kind, gentle person. And after our prasadam, he did something very unusual. He picked up the Bhagavad Gita and started reading the whole page. And he says, this is very nice. So even though he was what we might consider a super karmi, he somehow came in contact with the Bhagavad Gita. And I could realize that at that point, his life was going to become a lot better. Now we're in the future. And it mentions here in 641 of Bhagavad Gita, I will read that. Yes. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born to a family of righteous people, or in a family of rich aristocracy. Because somebody may ask, what happens to all these people on the higher planets? What happens to them after some time? So it says here, the unsuccessful yogis, purport, are divided into two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after a long practice of yoga. The yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After a prolonged life there, he is sent back again to this planet to take birth in the family of righteous Brahmin and Vaishnav, or of aristocratic merchants. I just thought I'd just add that a little bit. Thank you for your class today.
Excellent. Yeah. It's insights into the mystery of life, because people are lost, especially in the Kali Yuga, due to so many sinful activities. And these sinful activities, they cover the conditioned soul. So that's why we have these regulated principles to help people rise up off the animal platform of existence. Prabhupada refers to people that because of these animal tendencies, they cannot understand the higher principles. It is only possible through the human form of life, where we have the sophisticated intelligence to hear philosophy, to learn. And as we all know, people are very intelligent in this Kali Yuga. Look at what they can do. They're capable of building amazing structures. In China, they have amazing highways. They have all kinds of amazing buildings they've built in Dubai and other countries like that. So many different engineers, intelligent, and they've studied and learned and become very, very competent. So we as devotees have to understand that this is the basis for developing the Krishna consciousness movement as we move forward, is for us to become highly disciplined, highly trained in this process. Do not take this Dharma Bhavana, as you were mentioning, as a process just for ritual or for sentimental participation, but an effort on the part of each one of us to become strong, fixed up individuals. And we have a wonderful, we're going to call upon Chaitanya Nrsimha later and Og Vitar But I wanted to go to the hand that's raised by our friend in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, one of our branch offices, Neil Sharma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Very interesting part where we are reading today from the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Does hearing, seeing, thinking, and remembrance get connected to each other? We need to understand this. The shlokas which we read today from the Bhagavad Gita refers to Arjuna actually seeing Krishna's Brahmanda Rupa, you see?
Mhm.
And uh, the reason why he kind of asked this question is that the reason why Krishna showed his Brahmanda Rupa, we know, is because Arjuna was saying that you keep saying you are Bhagavan, you are Bhagavan. Prove it to me that you are Bhagavan. Of course, Arjuna did not need that proof because the proof lies in what does Arjuna address Krishna as in chapter 1. One of his first instructions to Krishna, who is his charioteer, he refers to Krishna as Achyuta. Now, Achyuta means one who is infallible. And also, he ends the Bhagavad Gita by referring Krishna as Achyuta. The reason why Arjuna asked this question is so that mere mortals can understand who Krishna is and what is his position. So that part is called visualization, but we cannot visualize, we cannot see that Brahmanda Swarupa. So how can we see this Brahmanda Swarupa? By hearing from an authorized representative. In fact, we were reading yesterday from Nectar of Devotion, where there are certain traits in Krishna, in the personality of Krishna also, which appear to be negative traits, but we got to hear it from authorized representatives so that we can understand his trait. Like you may say that, like stealing is wrong, but what do we call Krishna as? Makhan Chor. He's always stealing butter. So how does this kind of coincide with the part is through hearing? But what kind of hearing? Attentive hearing. You see, Prabhupada always says, you should hear it to me attentively. Now, the submissive part comes after we hear it attentively, because when we hear it attentively, then we tend to think about it. And that is what will cause us to understand or change our lifestyles. Remember, Prabhupada is doing all this just for one thing, is to influence our intellect. Because through our hearing, we will be thinking, and through our thinking, it may appear to be logical to us through our intelligence. And when we are blessed with that intelligence, that we will be able to think about Krishna. Because remember, in chapter 8, Krishna says, Anta kale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. How can I remember Krishna at the end of my life? That is my final exam. At the moment of death. Remember, there are so many wonderful Indian Gujarati bhajans which talk about we are at the time of death. I may choke up in my cough. I may not be able to say your name. I may not, my eyes may just blind away. I may not be able to take your darshan. And it has been proven by the medical profession that one of your last modalities to shut off is your hearing. So if you have trained yourself and if you have surrounded yourself in a Krishna conscious environment, and that is why whenever anybody who is around a Vaishnava at the moment of death, they are always chanting the Mahamantra. Is because that oral reception will help you to think, smaranam, think about Krishna, and thereby we can fulfill that condition. So this oral reception which we are talking about is very, very critical. So that is why even if you want to, language should not be a barrier. And with this modern technology, we can have these classes live, translated into almost any language now, and so that people can hear attentively these original verses of Srila Prabhupada and thereby achieve perfection. Hare Krishna.
That's a very valuable point of view that you just, information you just gave us. So we should definitely develop that as well so that other people in other languages can enjoy the opportunity to hear the information properly from this particular Sangha. And we can advance this cause worldwide, which is our goal. I wanted to ask Chaitanya Nashringa, I believe he's in Yashoda, I think he's in New Jersey, I believe. If he could maybe share some insights today on the discussion that we're having. Chaitanya Nishringa.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my
Hari Bol.
humble obeisance all Russia Prabhupada.
Where's the Prabhupada?
I'm visiting Mexico, so maybe this. I'm in Mexico with Krishna Kishore Prabhu. Myself and Saparna Prabhu.
Oh, excellent.
So if my service goes in and out, please let me know. Yes. So very nice, insightful lecture today, Prabhu. Just wanted to point out, I came across this letter written to Aitre Sri Bombay, February 4th, 1972. With a very nice point Prabhupada wrote here, how gopis, when they were trying to please Krishna, one gopi would dress so nicely, Radharani would be dressed so nicely, but there was inner competition between them how to please Krishna, who can dress the best. But that competition was envy, but it was transcendental. It's not the envious that in the material world that we have. So similarly, we devotees, we always want to try to serve Krishna the best possible way. But at the same time, we should always be, the mindset we should always have is how that devotee is serving so nicely. I also want to do the same. The inspiration should be there, not the enviousness. And I think more often than not, I think a lot of this happens too many times, and then the envious leads to discouragement, and then the spiritual life gets halted. So I think the devotees, we are devotees, should always want to see other devotees prosper and get the inspiration. One of the things Prabhupada wrote in his letter as well is that right here, let me see it. One who is engaged in devotional service, despite the most abominable action, is to be considered saintly because he is rightly situated. And the devotees of Krishna are most exalted person on this planet, better than kings, but all of them. We should always remember that. So all devotees are always, very exalted. But the ones who are always inspiring other devotees, those devotees are associations. I always want to have that. That is my inspiration coming to these calls all the time. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. And by the way, I was in Mexico recently as well, in Yotepec. My friend has, Gopal has an ashram there. And my son and I are also looking at a location there that we're working on. And I want to congratulate, and it is part of our plan to work with Krishna Kishore and help him, not only him in the Spanish language to print and publish books, but also in France with Bhaktijad, and also in Italy with Vijaya Pandit, as part of our branches worldwide for disseminating the message of Srila Prabhupada unadulterated and unedited through that network. So I'm very glad you're there. And by the way, if you could mention to Krishna Kishore, I did want to speak to him if he could try to reach me, because we are discussing our plans for the Srimad Bhagavatam New Delhi reprinting. And, he's also, as you know, eager to expand his publication. We want to support that in this organization. So we'll move forward. I see that we've got, thank you, Chaitanya Nishringa. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Oleg Viter. Oleg Viter. I see you're coming to our classes. Is it possible that you can make some comments today on the verse and topics that we're reviewing? Where are you located, Oleg? I'm just taking a chance I can get him. Okay. Doesn't seem that he. Oleg,
Hare Krishna, do you
uh,
hear me? Yeah.
your internet.
Do you
Go
hear me?
ahead. Yes, we can actually.
Yeah, I'm in Ireland now.
Oh yes. Are you the
Yeah,
one that wrote the play?
I'm very happy that uh, uh, that I have this um, opportunity to uh, uh, to have. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit. Um, this opportunity to hear to be on this classes, and I'm happy that because I haven't um, what should we call it? I forget this word. To have mm, 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 to hear real Prabhupada disciples, and because I I haven't any um, I hadn't this opportunity before, and
Yes.
I yeah I mm, uh, have connection with Mahatma Prabhu. I don't remember how I found him uh, in the internet,
Uh-huh.
because we don't meet each other offline, and uh, it's how I joined to the Hare Krishna movement in 1988 89.
Ah,
Yeah, it was in the former Soviet Union,
okay.
and after after fall down fell down.
Harikesh.
Uh, no. I wasn't. I mean Iron Curtain. Yeah,
Oh yes.
Hare Krishna came to us already be stolen from Srila Prabhupada, and
Yes.
we hadn't um, opportunity to know truth, and uh, I choose some of these false gurus, and finally, thanks God that thanks Krishna, um, thank thank Krishna. I found a letter. Uh, some Mataji in Ukraine gave me a letter of Gauridas Pandit. Mm,
Uh,
um, he was, he was servant, personal servant of Srila Prabhupada in that time when when Srila Prabhupada left his body, and he said nobody was approved by Srila Prabhupada to be a guru, and I thought about it 2 days, and then I I decided to to accept Srila Prabhupada as my real guru, as my the only one guru, no any
Yes.
other guru. Yeah, and it happened in 2010, I
Mhm.
guess, or 11. I don't remember. And
Okay.
after that, my life changed.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
and I
Prabhu, I
um,
wanted to ask you a question. I know you wrote a screenplay for Hollywood.
yeah, yeah,
So we're reviewing that. I'm presenting it to the group with Mark Wahlberg in Hollywood through my contacts. So very interesting. I wanted to let everyone know that Oleg is staying in Ireland, and he's a refugee from Europe,
yeah,
and
yeah.
very sincere. And Prabhu, thank you for your participation. That's why I wanted to call upon you to speak today. And
Yeah, I happy to have um, to have opportunity to contact with you all
yes,
because I I it's I afraid if uh, uh, the this script will be shoot in future, and some people uh, decide to become Krishna conscious,
mhm,
practice chanting Hare Krishna, following four regulative principles, and it's my big afraid that all these guru cheaters stole this sincere people, uh, and and that time I was only one, and I thought about how to prevent it and not uh, allow these guru cheaters to steal these people, sincere people, from Srila Prabhupada. And now I feel that in your companion, I'm not only one. I'm sure that we um, uh, don't allow to do this these cheaters. Thank you very much. This is very for me. It's very important.
excellent. Well, thank you. And we want to thank everyone today for joining us at the weekly readings and discussions of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is our regular diet, along with the chanting of our rounds,
Yeah,
and most importantly, working together cooperatively. This you mentioned about envy. It's true. Lots of people become envious, and Chaitanya Nisringa also mentioned it, of Prabhupada's position as guru, bona fide spiritual master, and they want to become imitation guru. And it's somewhat ludicrous, especially considering where we've been born and how we had very little exposure to Krishna consciousness prior to meeting Srila Prabhupada and his opening our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So thank you, everyone, again. We're going to end up the program. It's 11:36, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Canada and the U.S. And around the world, you can mark your calendars accordingly to your time zones. Let's move forward with the chanting of Hare Krishna by Srila Prabhupada back in the 60s, and him playing, interestingly, the bongo, Nilesh. He's playing the bongo because he had no mridanga, but it didn't make a difference. We're not after music, we're after devotional service. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled devotees. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees and are full of compassion for the fallen souls. See you tomorrow, everyone, at Srimad Bhagavatam class. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुता पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य